Welcome to Hero Villains. Who do you think would win between Gladiator and Blue Marvel, and why? Gladiator, the leader of the Shiar Imperial Guard, is a warrior who possesses nearly limitless power, fueled directly by his absolute belief in himself. When his will does not waver, Gladiator can lift unimaginable weights, shatter planets, fly at faster than light speeds, and unleash blows of terrifying destructive force. His body is almost invulnerable, capable of withstanding cosmic pressures and universe-level attacks, while continuing to fight as if nothing has happened. Blue Marvel, whose real name is Adam Brashear, is a scientific genius as well as a master-level superhero. His power comes from antimatter energy, allowing Blue Marvel to reach physical strength comparable to cosmic entities, control energy on a massive scale, and survive in the harshest environments imaginable. Beyond raw power, he possesses extraordinary intelligence, constantly analyzing and adjusting his tactics in the middle of battle. When they clash, Gladiator represents brutal power, amplified by unbreakable self-belief, while Blue Marvel is the perfect fusion of intellect and cosmic energy. One side embodies pure will, where even a single moment of doubt can determine the outcome of the battle. Before we delve into the analysis, please subscribe and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. The origin of Gladiator power shares many similarities with Hulk, yet it is expressed through a very different path. If Hulk can approach infinite strength through endlessly escalating rage, then Gladiator relies entirely on absolute confidence in himself. When his self-confidence reaches its peak, his physical power erupts to a level that no one can accurately measure. Gladiator punches have been powerful enough to crush entire planets, reducing the laws of physics to secondary concerns before his will. He easily overwhelmed Colossus, defeated the Thing with just 2 clean blows, and used his bare palm to stop Hyperion's strike before snapping his opponent's spine with a decisive attack. Even Vulcan, an Omega-level mutant, was once blinded in one eye by Gladiator and knocked unconscious in an instant. When facing the Fantastic Four, Gladiator even tore the Baxter Building from the ground as if lifting an inanimate object. According to Kubark, his son, Gladiator, once tore apart a black hole. As long as his belief does not falter, Gladiator is the embodiment of pure, cold, and overwhelming power. A storm that does not need to roar to make the entire universe bow. Gladiator power can reach a nearly limitless level, but it can also weaken to a shocking degree, all depending on his mental state at the moment of confrontation. The core of Gladiator's strength does not lie solely in muscle or incredible endurance, but is directly nourished by absolute confidence in himself. When that belief is firm, his body becomes a living fortress, enduring devastating attacks and responding with overwhelming force. However, with just a single moment of hesitation, doubt begins to creep in, causing his physical strength, durability, and fighting will to decline rapidly. In such moments, Gladiator is no longer an invincible symbol, but becomes alarmingly vulnerable. He has even fallen to opponents far below him in terms of raw power, such as Cannonball, simply because his belief in himself collapsed. This psychological aspect makes Gladiator both terrifying and tragic. He is not only fighting the enemy in front of him, but also constantly battling the doubt within his own mind. When his resolve stands firm, he is the fury of the universe. When his belief shatters, every legend trembles with it. Kalark is a Strontian warrior who underwent enhancement to become Gladiator, a symbol of strength for an entire empire. Beyond his innate abilities that allow him to survive in the vacuum of space, it was for this reason that the Galadorian Space Knight icon classified Gladiator at the Alpha Plus level, reserved for entities that stand near the very pinnacle of power. Gladiator speed is something that fills opponents with terror. He moves at extreme speeds, reaching hypersonic velocity far beyond the speed of sound. In many battles, Gladiator struck members of the Starjammers and the Guardians of the Galaxy before they could even comprehend what was happening. Even the Human Torch was once hit before he could react to the danger in front of him. Gladiator endurance is equally astonishing. His muscles produce very little fatigue, inducing toxin, allowing him to maintain peak combat condition for days on end. In a brutal confrontation with Hyperion, when both were taken down by eye energy beams, Gladiator was the one who stood back up first, even if only by a brief moment. That brief moment was enough to demonstrate that his willpower, physical stamina, and recovery ability consistently stay one step ahead. And in combat, that single step can be enough to decide victory or defeat. Gladiator body is tempered and resilient, like a living fortress amid the cosmic battlefield. Large caliber bullets, massive explosions, falls from unimaginable heights, and attacks from powerful super beings leave almost no mark on him. His flesh and physical structure seem to have been born to defy every limit of physical damage. Gladiator can survive in the vacuum of space without any supporting equipment and endure the most extreme temperature conditions, especially overwhelming heat. He has flown between the stars, absorbing the violent energy of a supernova explosion and still remains standing, regardless of environment or circumstance. This near invulnerability also renders Gladiator immune to disease, infection, pollution, corrosive substances, and most forms of radiation. There exists only a rare type of radiation capable of weakening his power and vitality. Even so, the decisive factor remains his mindset. When his confidence wavers, that perfect defensive shell also begins to fracture. Gladiator does not fight with his body alone, but with belief. Gladiator reflexes are extraordinary. Just a few nanoseconds are enough for him to raise his hand and block a direct punch from Hyperion. In another moment, he even caught a bullet fired from an extremely powerful weapon in order to protect Vulcan. Gladiator perception and information processing ability are equally remarkable. He can observe, analyze, and count tens of billions of microorganisms guarding the inside of a body within just a few seconds. In another version, Gladiator crossed the distance between stars at an unimaginable speed, fast enough to pursue a ship experiencing time dilation for more than 2 weeks, implying a velocity far exceeding the speed of light, while still maintaining perfectly precise reaction capability. Gladiator's speed reaches a level where opponents cannot even perceive the threat. He can traverse an entire galaxy and strike Heimdall before the latter can understand what is happening. Gladiator defies gravity itself to fly freely. His flight speed rivals the fastest starships ever created, and even surpasses them when he enters hyperspace. Reed Richards once recorded that Gladiator's speed can reach hundreds of times the speed of light, turning him into a living flash streaking through the vast universe. Gladiator has the ability to fire extremely focused energy beams from his eyes. These beams are capable of burning the skin of the Hulk. They can also neutralize Hyperion atomic vision, creating a massive explosion that temporarily paralyzes both opponents. Gladiator possesses the ability to see extremely small objects and images, even beyond the subatomic level. He can inhale a vast amount of air and then exhale it all at once to generate winds as powerful as a storm. He can also cool his breath to freeze his targets. Gladiator is capable of generating resistance against telepathic attacks and mental probing. If injured, Gladiator's rapid healing ability allows him to recover quickly. His regeneration can even restore destroyed cells and bodily tissues, but it is limited in that it cannot regenerate lost organs or severed limbs. When Champion defeated him using the Power Gem, Gladiator required a period of time to recover from his injuries. Gladiator possesses superhuman strength at the 100+ level. Gladiator carries a Shiar device that helps stabilize massive objects that he lifts. I really hope you'll subscribe to the channel, it would help us a lot, and you're the best person ever. Thank you so much. Now let us talk about Blue Marvel. The core source of Blue Marvel power originates from an almost perfectly pure form of energy, antimatter, released from the negative zone, a multi-dimensional space. Antimatter has a structure similar to ordinary matter, but its subatomic particles carry opposite charges, making it impossible for the two forms to come into contact without triggering a catastrophic explosion. While nuclear fission converts only a tiny fraction of mass into energy, antimatter releases its entire potential. Just 1 gram carries destructive power comparable to the Hiroshima bomb, and an extremely small amount is enough to power the entire city of New York for a full day. Adam Brashear was the first person to successfully create and operate an antimatter reactor. The experimental accident did not destroy him, but instead restructured his body, leaving his form and physical structure no longer affected by antimatter. From that moment, Blue Marvel was born as a living embodiment of this ultimate energy source. It was precisely this power beyond conventional limits that led Captain America, Sam Wilson, and Tony Stark to classify him as an alpha-level threat, a man carrying within himself the weight of an entire era of science and destruction. Blue Marvel physical strength reaches a level that even top-tier superheroes must approach with caution. He can lift over 100 tons as a matter of course, but that is only the surface of his true potential. In the past, Blue Marvel effortlessly lifted the United States Navy aircraft carrier Enterprise from the 1,960 seconds, a colossal mass of steel weighing more than 93,000 tons, as if it were merely a display model. His subsequent feats were even more staggering. He once moved an asteroid the size of the entire state of Arkansas without showing any sign of strain. The Watcher even stated that Adam Brashear is capable of splitting the moon in half with a single punch. In direct combat, Blue Marvel can face Iron Man, Ares, Wonder Man, and Ms. Marvel simultaneously, while remaining completely dominant. His power was enough to push Sentry to his absolute limit, then deliver a punch that sent him flying straight out of Earth orbit. The pinnacle was his one-on-one battle with Hyperion, a being who had slaughtered countless variants of Blue Marvel along with heroes from many different worlds. Even so, Adam was the one who remained standing. When confronting the Hulk of Earth 1610, he needed only a single punch to end the fight. Blue Marvel is not merely strong. He is the benchmark for the concept of absolute power in the universe. Beyond raw strength, he possesses extraordinary sensory perception. His awareness extends across multiple sensory spectra, allowing him to observe forms of energy and structures that ordinary vision cannot reach. Superior Spider-Man once compared Blue Marvel to a living electron microscope, enabling him to see damaged energy patterns within spectrum and actively reconstruct what Proxima had destroyed. Blue Marvel has also expanded his consciousness through his own inventions, delving deeply into the study of the confinement of conceptual entities. His intellect and perception reach levels of reality that even many cosmic beings struggle to access. Alongside his intellect is near absolute survivability. Blue Marvel once held a detonating hydrogen bomb in his hands without suffering any harm. He endured repeated attacks from a powerful group of superheroes, including Ms. Marvel, Ares, Iron Man, Wonder Man, and Sentry, while remaining on his feet. He can breathe and exist in space and survive nuclear explosions without injury. Blue Marvel is not just a superhero. He is proof of what happens when intellect and power become one. Blue Marvel commands antimatter energy at an exceptionally rare level, not only absorbing it, but also actively generating this immense energy source to serve a wide range of purposes. From his own hands, he can unleash streams of antimatter in the form of powerful shockwaves, capable of crushing enemies in an instant. When he needs to control the battlefield without causing devastation, Blue Marvel can dial the energy down, releasing antimatter beams that immediately render humans unconscious without leaving fatal injuries. At full power, he can release all the antimatter accumulated within his body into a colossal energy eruption, spreading outward in every direction like an apocalyptic wave that sweeps away everything within its range. Blue Marvel also wields antimatter with a level of finesse rarely seen. He once rearranged the photons within Spectrum body, preventing antiphotons from destroying her and even amplifying her power to the point where she was able to defeat a partial manifestation of Shuma Gorath. In Blue Marvel hands, antimatter is not merely a weapon of destruction, but a tool for restructuring reality, where intellect, power, and precision merge into one. Blue Marvel flight does not rely on wings or external devices, but on refined control. He manipulates gravitational particles, magnetic fields, and molecular motion at an absolute level, combining them with extraordinary speed to tear through the sky. His flight capability far exceeds supersonic speeds, to the extent that he once hurled himself straight into deep space using only his internal power, leaving behind all the limits of the atmosphere. In terms of raw strength, Blue Marvel is classified in the over 100-ton range, lifting massive weights with ease. He is often placed on the same level as Sentry, Hulk, and Thor. Even Namor has acknowledged that among those capable of delivering blows comparable to Blue Marvel, only Hulk and Thor qualify. The fusion of transcendent intellect, warrior skill, and cosmic power has transformed Adam Brashear into one of the most formidable entities in existence. Blue Marvel enters every confrontation with an advantage derived from immense latent power, cosmic-level energy manipulation, and the rare adaptability of a genius scientific mind. Kalark is a biologically enhanced warrior with terrifying physical strength, yet one that depends deeply on his own self-confidence. When his belief is firm, Gladiator is a steel storm on the battlefield, but the upper limits of his power generally remain below planet-destroying levels. The feats of Blue Marvel demonstrate an entirely different scale. He can generate energy sufficient to devastate anything from multiple city blocks to continental levels, and even unleash attacks with nuclear equivalent power. Gladiator has also caused widespread destruction, but he rarely reaches that degree of absolute devastation. The key factor lies in adaptability. Blue Marvel can rapidly shift from pure physical power to high output energy projection, something Gladiator struggles to withstand over extended periods. Of course, Gladiator is not an easy opponent to overcome. He can open with high-speed assaults or intense heat vision, forcing Blue Marvel, if unprepared, to endure heavy initial pressure. However, as the battle drags on, the momentum gradually tilts in Adam's favor. He deploys long-range energy tactics, erects force fields, generates shockwaves, absorbs or erodes his opponent's energy, and steadily takes control of the pace of combat. Through sustained, high-intensity energy streams and focused antimatter attacks, Blue Marvel can strike at Gladiator endurance, even disabling his mobility and pushing his body to its limits. Regenerative defense, energy absorption, and flexible scientific reasoning allow Adam to gain the upper hand. Gladiator still has a chance to win in explosive close combat scenarios fueled by absolute confidence or surprise factors. Nevertheless, when considering the overall picture, the combination of sharp intellect and scalable energy power makes Blue Marvel the more likely victor in most encounters. If you have in some menacing that Fowlerden needs, Blue Marvel has defeated Anti-Man, who once defeated Sentry, and Sentry himself described Blue Marvel by saying, "I have never seen anyone that strong," while Thanos described Anti-Man power as infinite. The winner is Blue Marvel. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Follow me if you like it. That's today's video. Thank you very much.